here I am, and I just discovered that YouTube video from Jens Larsen about this blues, the Chopaz blues, on this recording Intercontinental, and I remember that I have been listening to this recording a lot as well, and to this special solo as well, and it's right, somehow I too have completely forgotten about it. It's like, I don't know, with the digital stuff sometimes the files just vanish on the hard drive, right? If you have a record, that's not so hard to vanish. But anyways, I just remembered this very classical recording that has so many cool blues licks, but also very cool bebop lines. And today I just want to have a look with you at this solo, and I'm experimenting a little bit. I'm just going to listen to this with you. Don't know if this is going to get copyrighted or blocked, but we'll see about that. Have a start and listen to the intro of this G blues. It's a blues in G, and he's playing some very bluesy lines. No time, right? So that means there's nothing like this. All feeling, and it's the notes that glue it together. Time. So, right, he's playing some bluesy stuff, and what he's actually really playing is like the G minor pentatonic with a blue note, so the blues scale. And already very interesting how he starts. He starts like, which is a D and a G, right? And it also is sort of like a 5-1 if you want to. So it's like, hello, here I'm going to start. At least in my mind. And then everything else he's playing, it's really only the G minor pentatonic with the blue note, and he's playing a rubato intro, and then he's playing this very clear thing that leads into the rhythm, and that then the band just joins because they understand him. And everything is clear, right? So if you play one phrase in time, that's cool. And he's playing something like, oh. So where are we? We are in the fourth bar. It's a G7 going to the C7 and it's playing. So what's happening here? He's outlining a D minor 7, right? All D minor, right? But then he's switching to this C sharp. He's actually playing some notes that you really can't hear in between, so I'm going to skip them. It's like, right, so he goes from the D on the D minor 7 chord to the C sharp on the G7, and that's where he enters the scale, the half tone whole tone scale on the sharp 11 of the dominant 7th chord. I find that very interesting, and also you can play sort of a sequence playing whole tones going down, right, like, and that's what he's doing here, right? So if you outline the half note whole tone scale on one string, G, and now we're starting half note, and then just always emphasize not the half notes but the whole notes, right? And then, like, you know, ending on the F, right, on the G7, and then this F, so classical, like in a bebop line, the F goes to the E, to the third. What is happening here? He's playing a 2-5 or thinking a 2-5 in bar 4, using the half note whole tone scale on the dominant 7th chord and transitioning from the D to the C sharp. So let's try to do that in that bar. bit more of this solo because there's another thing that I heard in many solos and that I like so much. I want to understand what's happening there and I want to do something with it. Here it comes. Yeah, those trills, I like them so much. I heard them so often and actually it's not so hard to understand them, like. So it's more like really. This is one way to play the trill. It's like this: 1, 2, 3, and here 1, 2, 4. On the same, no, not on the same thing. 2 strings. So, and what's interesting is to me, right, so where does he play it on the form? So he's playing it on the G7, so he's starting it on the C7 already, but I'm thinking he's already anticipating the G7 in bar 5, right? So, and what are the notes that are sort of emphasized, right? So I would say it's the G, the D, the G, and the D. So right, so basically what we can take from that is that the last note could be like our landing note or the point or the note that we target, right? So that would be the last note of the trill. So how can we work with it? We can just, like, you know, work with it as a technical exercise. We have different ways of playing it. So on the lower 4 strings, it'll always look the same. I could also play like here. You know, just like make a technical exercise out of it. So here I'm going to play it a little different because the strings are tuned differently. And then I can make up like any exercise that I want. I could say like, okay, I'm going to target. This is going to be a little bit more technical, but just, you know, to get it out of the box, sort of, I would say I always target the root of each chord of the chorus. So I have to check that out for a second. How will I play it? So here's the root, right? And maybe I can play it like this. G here, C here, D here. Just very easy. Let's try to do that. And I'm experimenting. Sorry. Huh? So there are many ways how you can think about it. You could also think that other parts of this trill are like your note that you're targeting, right? Like the 9. So endless possibilities. I would suggest to work on the technical aspect of this line first and then incorporate it into your improvisation. Okay, let's move on. What else did I find? It's going to be an endless video. Yes, then in bar, not in bar, in chorus number 2, he's starting those chords. So he's starting like a chord solo. I think the first chord is this one and not this one. Because I bought this transcription, I think it's like this. Also sounds so much better, right? I like this. One more time. So yes, and what of course the rhythm is supremely important, and not going to talk about it too much, but anyways, if you want to play it in great rhythm, you will have to make sure that your technique is really like, you know, down to play the chords very fast. And one way you can practice it is just to get rid of the rhythm completely and just play every note on the downbeat and then speed up the tempo. So you know, you just don't want to have your technique standing in the way of the rhythmic accuracy, because if the fingers can't play the chords in time, it doesn't matter if you have a good time feeling, you will be always too late. And then maybe so this transposing thing, if you only move the chords by 1/2 step already, it does do wonders. I know there's a tendency to think it all looks the same, but really does it? Think about it, right? First of all, the frets are farther or wider here, right? And also we have our inlays in some spaces and in others not. So it does look different. So just be sure that you always practice the stuff on a technical basis first of all. Move it around and it will come out in your playing. And so the general idea here is to harmonize a melody with chords. And then that's of course a topic that is endless, but maybe one thing that we can take from this is this chromatic approach that we have here. Right, so this, always take the little snippets, otherwise it's crazy, right? So maybe you can see this is an A flat 7 9 13 going to a G 7 9, right? So it's a chromatic approach, and one thing that very, very commonly happens is that the top note, so the upper high E string, it's the melody note, right? It's a melody up there, and it very often is a minor third, like, you know. It's just like sounds good. So I'm going to play one chorus over my chords, trying to play a chord melody solo with this chord, playing a minor third. And I'm going to play that chromatic approach on the end of whatever, but on the offbeat. Very often jazz musicians try to put their own twist or turn on a piece of music that has been played a lot, right? Just like playing some other chords, making it more personal. And I found something that I find a little bit more like typical for this Chopin's blues solo. And now it comes. Yes. Yeah, that's so beautiful. It's just like very small thing, but it's. So what's happening here, right? Where are we? That's always the first question. So we are in bar 8 of the blues form. That's where we have the E7, right? Because, right, we are in a blues in G. And if you think about it, right, we have this sort of long turnaround, G7, E7, A minor 7, D7. But then we have sort of the quicker turnaround. And now we are in this bar where we have the E7. What does he play? So he plays a B half diminished, a very beautiful altered E7, we would expect that he would go to A minor, right? But he turns the A minor 7 chord, the chord on the 2nd degree, into a dominant 7th chord. So he's sort of interjecting a little 2-5, right? Instead of only playing the E7, he gives a partner to the E7. The E7 is a secondary dominant, and it's a secondary dominant, sorry, that goes to, that is resolving, hopefully, to a minor chord, and because of that we can give him a partner that is half diminished, if that makes any sense. But you can hear how tragic this little phrase is, right? So he sort of interjects some really like jazz harmony, if you want to, in between all of this beautiful blues language that he's playing. And so we can also think that we might play a line like this in this place. So let's try to do that. Yeah, and that brings me to another topic. So this is a very good place for practicing double time lines, right? So because this blues is rather slow, and then you can count internally like 60 notes, like 1 year into 2 year into 3 year into 4 year, and this will give you so much more space for ideas, especially if you're having like, you know, one bar of a sort of substituted chord changes. Then you have 4 notes, let's say, right, if you would be playing 8 notes, like 4 notes on the B half diminished and 4 on the E7. But if you would be playing 60 notes, like I try to do now, you just like have so much more to explore, right? And now I'm trying little excursus. How do you practice that, right? You practice it by playing consecutive 60 notes and don't stop. So I'm going to try to do that now. Yeah. Yeah, this is so beautiful. I heard this also before, and I was just wondering what it is, and that it's like. Yeah. So he starts off with sort of, right, maybe like a G major patch, right, with a flat 3. But then it's really, you know, approach to the 3, 5 root, 3, 5. So it's the triad of the G chord, right? He's not even approaching the major 7. And again, where are we? So we are in the last 2 bars of the chorus, right? So that's a place where the turnaround is happening. So 1, 6, 2, 5, right? People, not everybody's always playing 1, 6, 2, 5 there, right? As you can see here, it's more about playing something that makes it clear that you will play another chorus, and then, right, he's playing like a G triad, right? And then approaching every note. But then over the fretboard, right? Let's play a G triad. And then approach it. Sorry. This is so cool, and you know, it's just a triad. You can do that with any triad, right? So of course, right, sorry, excursion. If you would have a G7, 13, flat 9. And then, you know, of course, you know, with the whole tone, half tone. And of course, you know, with the half tone, whole tone scale. There are lots of triads in it, so let's get one. Which one do we have? The E. Let's practice the E triad. So, and let's approach those notes in the way Joe does. Right, it's just a concept. I don't think so much about styles. It's just concepts you can play with a distortion pedal or not. It doesn't matter as long as the line is cool, right? They work in many different contexts. So just go and explore. So that's it for today, and just like go and experiment, check out stuff that you like, try to understand it and try to do something with it. Don't be afraid to fool around with it. Invent your own exercises. And if you like this video, you might also like this video about 10 Chopin's chord etudes that I invented from his book, and I see you around. Bye.